Hi strangers! If you're like me, you were feeling pretty good about yourself until you got home, let your dog out and yelled, "Go poop," with absolutely no result for the past 5 minutes. Or you're a photographer who wants to talk about importing your images whenever you get home from a wedding. So this video was kind of requested. Somebody asked me what my workflow was from the time that I get home until delivery, and I'm taking that very literally. I literally just got home from a wedding. That's why I look so good. I am going to import my cards. This is my fancy card holder. It is ugly, it is waterproof, and if I drop this in a field, I can definitely find it. It's not like a cute leather thing that can get lost really easy. And I've been using these for like 8 years, and some of these are the original ones, so they work pretty good. I do have my second shooter's files, but I'm just going to import mine because I only have 3 working card readers right now. I do use a card reader hub that has 4 ports. One of them just isn't working right now. I just ordered a new one. So I'm just going to gather up my cards. I put them in stacks. I have all of my cards in stacks of 3s, and I'm just going to import one of each card. I import directly into Lightroom, and I start building smart previews and standard previews from there, so that way if I wanted to get into this tomorrow and start editing, I would. A lot of people really like Photo Mechanic for the simple fact that you don't have to do all of this waiting, and if you are doing sports photography or something where you need an immediate turnaround, I think that's cool. I'm not going to stay up until 3 a.m. to call these. So I'm going to import directly into Lightroom and start building stuff. One thing that I always do is I actually click into each individual folder on my files because I have had issues where Lightroom won't read 2 of these folders. So I click on each one. I'm going to build standard previews, build smart previews. I am going to make a second copy to my backup drive. So I have 2 drives. I have my 2018 OG, and this is going to be in progress. And then I have my backup drive. It's really important to have multiple backups. I have the cards that I don't format, so I have 2 copies of each card. I have the raw files on 2 drives that are RAID, so technically 6 backups. And then I'm building smart previews, which you can actually use smart previews to print from. Like I've ordered a 16 by 20, which was fine. I'm not saying it's an ideal backup, but I build smart previews, which I also back up to my laptop's time machine. I have 8 versions of my raw files that are happening each time. So I rename my files to year, month, date, then hour, then minute, then second, then file name. Instead of just file name, I have had an issue with my Canon where one time it started over the images from the beginning. So it got to image like 678 and then it reset it to 0001. And so if my files from that day were just date file name, it would have rewritten images. So I do hour, minute, second, and original file name, and extension leave as is. I have a preset called Scarlett 2018 Tweaks. I'm constantly tweaking things. And then I have my metadata that's writing to the files. And then I don't do keywords, but I do a subfolder, which I'm going to name today's date, 0902, and then W for wedding, and then my client's names. And then I am going to hit import. So this is just for the raw files. I also have it in my workflow that once a month, I put all of my delivered files on a Synology drive that I can connect to via Wi-Fi, so I don't have to be connected to my computer all the time for things like blogging. But obviously there's an online backup of the finished files whenever I upload them to the online proofing galleries. And those are the exact same size files that I would print from and that I would back up. I do not back up my raw files online. I do keep my cards separate from my drives, and I do have multiple backups happening everywhere, so that is a thing. And if I am traveling somewhere, I do travel with all of my in-progress cards because I am super paranoid about losing anything. I'm really fortunate that I'm seeing my second shooter on Wednesday, so I just took her cards with me. But I also have this really cool ColorSpace hard drive that is basically an external hard drive that's also like a multi-port card reader, and you can import images really easily onto this. It takes a while, so you would want your second shooters to start importing their cards maybe a half hour before they need to leave, so they would need to shoot on another card. This is really nice if you're traveling, and it's really nice if you have like a 2-hour drive home from a wedding, or if you don't have like a 4-bay USB card reader like I have. Sometimes it's nice to put all of it on one drive, so that way you just have one thing to worry about whenever you're importing. One thing that I will say about this is that I have only imported one of the cards from each of my cameras, but tomorrow I'm going to put the second cards in my computer and re-import and make sure that I'm selecting don't import duplicates whenever I'm doing that, to make sure that I'm definitely getting all of the files. And again, I am not going to format those until after it's been delivered. So I think that about does it. I'll include a link to the color space, which is really nice if you're traveling. I'll include a link to the 4-hub USB reader thing. I'll include a link to my external hard drives, and I think that's it. I kind of thought it would be funny if I ended this video by like drinking wine or something, but there's no freaking way. I am so dehydrated, guys. Oh man, I had a really cool camp wedding, but I did not drink enough water at all. Now I just get to go to bed and I don't have to feed a bunch of cards into my computer, which feels pretty cool because I remember several years ago I would have to like wait for all my files to copy over from one card, and then I would have to wait for all my files to copy over to another card. So I'm really thankful that I have Lightroom do all of them at once, and then I have a USB hub. Thank you so much for watching, strangers. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for backing my Patreon. I really love hearing from you, and I'm really glad that you guys enjoyed the video on culling and that you guys had feedback. It seems like you guys like the videos more than the posts. My goal is to do at least one video and one written article a month. Let me know if you have any questions. Please ask away. And I hope everybody's having a good week. Thank you. Bye. I need to hydrate.